allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen.
At this time, I want to mention that Ms. Kowski and Ms. Nader will not be here today. Both of them are under the weather. And so we would need a secretary today. Ms. Dyroff, would you give us the honors? Thank you.
Do you want me to do roll call right now, right?
Yes, please. Sorry.
Okay, Ms. Bilkowski is absent. Ms. Gator?
Present.
Mr. Laney?
Present.
Mrs. Dyroff, present. Ms. Nasser is absent. Mr. Wall?
Present.
Ms. Winless?
Present.
We have a quorum.
Thank you so much. Be it resolved that the Board of Education accepts the March 20th, 2024 agenda as presented. A board member may request an item be moved from the consent agenda to superintendent's recommendation. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Trustee Gator.
Support.
Supported by Trustee Winless. Roll call, please.
Ms. Gator?
Yes.
Mr. Laney?
Yes.
Mrs. Dyroff, yes. Mrs. Winless?
Yes.
Mr. Wall?
Yes. Motion carries. At this time, we're going to move to public comment on agenda items. If anybody would like to come up, please just, if there's something, well, actually it's going to be just on agenda items. So at this time, please come on up if anybody has a question or concern for agenda items.
Hello, Jen Mast, OW Best Middle School, 207 Truax in Trenton. I have a question that I know cannot be answered right this second, but I'm hoping it'll get answered to me at some point. I would like to know where, we've now in this district paid out 3 high-dollar settlements to employees who have left the district. I want to know where those appear on the budget. Is there a line item? Is there a category? I don't need you to give me a dollar amount. I'm good at math. So I just want you to tell me where it appears on the budget, and I will find it myself. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Anyone else for agenda items? Okay, at this time, we're going to move to superintendent's report. Mr. Klein.
Thank you. So quite excited today. We have Steger here with her leadership students, so we welcome you. And I believe we're going to get 2 presentations today. One's on teacher appreciation, and the other one is on athletic revamp. So we're going to start off with Joseph and Amin. We'll welcome you guys up. Now the mic is a little tricky, and it's hard to hear if you don't speak into the mic. So if I could ask, please, that you we have to move the mic a little bit, or so it'll work. Maybe do a test so you can see if it'll work. Do we need to raise it a bit?
Check my mic on, check. Yeah, the next contestant's call here.
Hello, everyone. My name is Joseph Giroux. I'm a senior at Annapolis High School. I play football, baseball. I'm a member of the student council, Key Club, and a member of the Blue Card, and I'm 17 years old.
My name is Ayman Alamari. I'm the vice president of class of 2024. I'm part of Key Club, NHS, and the Cougar Card.
So, what is a teacher apprentice? A teacher apprentice is an opportunity to influence and guide students down the path of becoming a teacher.
Students that are interested in having a career in education can start early by becoming a teacher apprentice.
The why. 300,000 public school teachers and other staff left the education field from February 2020 to May 2022. This was 3% of the workforce. This project will influence students to enjoy the profession of teaching due to its lack of interest.
What would the requirements for this class be? This would be a senior-only class. People who sign up must have high attendance, no bad behavior record, like suspensions, and the student must have a 3.2 GPA or higher.
Our data and infographics. So as you can see from our pie charts, 64% of students are willing to be a teacher apprentice. 58% agreed that having an apprentice affects both the teacher and students.
After asking the teachers of Annapolis High School their stress levels, they all gave a number of 5 or higher. The most common level of stress was 7, followed by 8 and 10. These teachers have a high stress level because of all the work they have to do. This project will not only help the students acquire necessary life skills, but it will also take away some of the teacher's stress. 62.4% of these teachers agreed that having a helper would lessen their stress. How would it work? This program would be an independent study for 12th graders. These seniors would need to have all of their credits or be on track to graduate. Instead of taking a regular class, they could take this elective.
So things naysayers would say. So naysayers would say things that vary about behavior issues, class credits, and their students would stay on task. In this class, the students would be working directly with the teachers, which would cause less problems. Also, this program is not something unheard of, as nearby schools have similar classes. As you can see, Divine Child is a school nearby that also has this. They have classes that include a school store assistant, an attendance assistant, an advancement assistant, and a counseling assistant. And each class is 0.5 credits, and it's for 11th and 12th graders only.
Teachers say, after asking the teachers what they think the teacher apprentice should be responsible for, the teachers said things that vary from getting lots of help with copying, sorting, filing, organizing, attendance, running errands, checking mailboxes, helping substitute teachers, simple grading, and a lot more. This is our vision statement. We underlined the parts that stood out for our project. This would make a positive change, create a diverse school community, have more connection and inclusivity, encourage positive behavior, school pride, involvement in activities, and have a better sense of community. Thank you for listening. Any questions, comments, or concerns?
I will open up. Thank you for the presentation. Thank you. Thank you for the presentation. Sorry, my voice is gone from yesterday from doing the spelling bee. I won't even tell you how many words I did.
Many.
Yeah, the word is. But I'd like to see if the board has any questions or comments. Okay, good presentation. Oh,
I misspoke. I said teacher appreciation. I should have said apprentice. So good catch. But one of the things that I was very impressed with, and I sat in on all of them, and this one is a good example of that. I believe Kennedy's will be as well. I really like the way that you guys use data, right? Because you can put information and ideas out there, but I like the way that you supported and you did the research talking about what this program could do. We interacted with staff members, getting input, so I was just impressed with that. So thank you so much for presenting. Okay, and we'll invite Kennedy up. And Kennedy said, "Oh my gosh, my mom's here." So welcome, Mom.
How do I get it?
Can I take it off? I just want to say that our leadership class would not be able to run, of course, without Ms. Dager. At the beginning of the year, she pretty much tells you to come up with an idea and shoot for the stars. And that's what I did with my project this year because I really want to make an impact in our district. It's not showing up there.
yes, he's working on that.
Technology is great until
Well,
it isn't.
while we're waiting, during our real presentations at the school, I asked a question and I said, who in their life at some point has played a sport or been an athlete? Okay, and then I said, it's very obvious we have some washed up athletes in here. It's a joke. It was supposed to be an icebreaker.
Washed up and everything, so.
Okay, so this year my project was athletics revamp. So a little bit about me. My name's Kennedy Orlando. I'm a senior at Annapolis High School. A lot of people around the school know me as a jock. I'm a three-sport varsity athlete. I play softball, basketball, and volleyball. I'm the executive board student council vice president. I'm also a part of NHS. Last year my project was student athlete mental health and varsity club. We presented that to the board last year as well. I co-founded that project with my two best friends, Bethany Barnett and Lily DePaulis. It's off and running. It's a great club to notice student athlete mental health, and it's just a way to bond, like study tables like that as well. So this year, my goals are to, sorry. Backwards a little bit. Backwards.
Washed up.
Okay, so my goals, I want to bring support and appreciation to Annapolis athletics and make Annapolis a top-tier program and build a high-performance athletic facility. So, you might be asking, what is athletics revamp? So far, with the help of Mr. Buchanan, our athletic director, I have refreshed our trophy case and championship banners after 15 years. In the past 5 years, Annapolis has won 4 district titles, and not one had been added before I began pushing for a change. Those championships include sorry. 19 through 20 girls basketball district championship, 20 through 21 volleyball district championship, 22 through 23 volleyball district championship, I was a part of that, 22 through 23 baseball district championship, along with 2 track and field records broken by the Reese siblings. Darius Reese broke the long jump record, and Maisha Reese broke the 100-meter dash and long jump record as well. So my why for my project, I took a survey and 78.9% of students said they feel our athletic program is not top tier. Now you can see we have some records. At the time when I took these screenshots, the football team went 2-15, or no, I'm sorry. The boys basketball team was 2-15 at the time. The football team went 0-11 with their brand new football field, and the girls basketball team was 4-9 at the time. So, 63.2% of our students believe there is not enough appreciation in our school or community for our Annapolis athletics. 100% of those students believe if Annapolis had a field house, it would improve our athletic program. So you might be asking yourself, what is a field house? A field house is an indoor sports arena or stadium, mostly used as a high-performance space for a variety of athletic facilities, such as courts, fields, tracks. It can also include gymnastics mats, wrestling mats, stuff like that, swimming pools. 73.6% of our student athletes at Annapolis are multi-sport athletes. Therefore, most of our athletes are affected by our poor facility. Of course, I did some research with my project. My breakdown, combined together, the new football field and the new track was $3,526,384.28. So, a field house is estimated $6 to $20 million. It can profit from things such as rentals, membership fees, tournaments, training programs, and concession stands. Obviously, the price of my project is the elephant in the room, but like I said, it can profit for years to come. Some local schools, for example, that I really loved and thought that could be a good example for things that our field house could become are the very top one on the right is the Lincoln Lab. That's in Ypsilanti, it's Lincoln High School. The middle one is Rambler Fieldhouse in Boyne City High Schools. And the bottom one is the Don Johnson Fieldhouse. That's the one I love the most. It's most ideal, I feel, for our community. And that is in Lansing, and it is Eastern High Schools. So, I've got a lot of naysayers, and here's some of the top things that they've said to me. Are you sure you want to start this as a senior? Yes, I'm sure I want to start this as a senior. I want to start this for the future students and athletes because I wish someone would have done it for me. This won't benefit you at all. It's not about benefiting me or leaving a legacy. This is about benefiting all the classes after me and allowing them to succeed from this project. That's what I want my legacy in Annapolis to be. That's crazy expensive. It'll never get done. And so is the new football field and track, but we got a grant to do that. And the last one, you're not the first person to try this idea. I'm definitely not the first person to try this idea in our district, but I'm the only person who's going to get it done. So I have some student experiences here from some of my fellow teammates, fellow students as well. Addison Jones, class of 25, said, well, first off, we can't even play volleyball at the high school gym because we don't have a proper court here to play. During basketball season, we get kicked out of the gym and have nowhere else to practice whenever there is a wrestling meet or the cheer team steals the gym. Natalie Hall, class of 25, said, at Annapolis, we only have during volleyball season, we can't even play in our home gym because it's poor construction and lack of poles and a net. It would be nice to play in our gym for once, but instead, we are forced to the middle school where the gym has reached 100 degrees in the summer. And there's limited seating space. And then senior cheer captain Liliana Mitchum, class of 24. During basketball season and football season, cheerleaders can't practice in the gym. We've been forced outside or to the cafeteria. We aren't able to do stunts we want because we have no room to do so. During football season, we had to share the gym with the wrestlers. I hope in the future the cheer team is put more into consideration when it comes to practice space. I'd also like to say that I believe we could have a competitive cheer team in our district if we had the room and the funding to do so, but we do not. So we all had the same vision statement because our class came up with it. I underlined and bolded some things that I think my project relates to. I really think it'll make a positive change in our community. It'll create more connection, more school pride, and involvement in activities. Are there any questions, comments, or concerns?
Well, first, I'm going to give you an applaud. The only question that really came to my mind is, do you have any idea where we would put it?
My ideal space, I do want a field house. Like I said, it's from $6 to $20 million. Just how big you go, the more expensive. My ideal space would be the practice field in front of the high school, as it is not used as of right now.
Okay.
Anything else? No.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good job, Karen.
So on behalf of the board, okay, you can't leave without swag, right? So thank you guys so much. Yep, you guys did a great job. Here we go. And Mom, it's your here. Yeah, thank you guys. So our next presentation, I'd like to introduce Allison Lefevre. She is leads the PBIS project here in our school district, and she has a team that's getting ready to present. We'll get you loaded up and get you ready to go, Allison. And while they're doing that, I did have the...
I really really had to rope them in tonight, so I appreciate that. Hello. I'd first like to thank Mr. Kleinhans for inviting us here tonight. I am Allison Lefevre. I'm one of the elementary media specialists and district PBIS coach.
Danielle Osborne, I teach kindergarten at Polk Elementary, and I'm one of the coaches of PBIS at Polk.
And I'm Michelle Jaskolski, second grade teacher at Bedford and one of the PBIS coaches over there. So what does PBIS mean?
So number one, it's positive. We do positive teaching and reinforcing important social skills. On the behavior, it's data-based problem solving to address existing behavior concerns. It also includes intervention, a 3-tiered model of prevention and intervention for our students, and then lastly, support, a framework for enhancing culture and the climate of our schools.
So the district has team members in every single building in the district. So in Annapolis, it is Tanessa Hedrick. At OWS, it is Jamie Morris and Kelly Knapp. At Pardee, it is Alex Baston. At Polk, Danielle Osborne and David Urell. Bedford, Michelle Skalski and Marissa Martin, and then our district coach, Allison Lefevre. So what is it that we do? Our building teams meet monthly to analyze data and make building level decisions. Our building teams respond to concerns and create reward events to support positive behavior. And our district team meets quarterly to review data, share information, address concerns, and ensure the district is working together as a team. So the font is a little bit light on the presentation, to make sure I can see it. So we also meet with RISA quarterly because RISA is the funding for our grant. And recently, when we had our last meeting, RISA gave a huge shout out to District 7 because we're using a proactive approach based on their 3-tiered model of prevention and intervention aimed at creating safe and effective schools. We also received a shout out from RISA regarding all the work we're accomplishing. We were also compared to Plymouth Canton, and we were using it as an example of what a small district is able to do and complete compared to a larger district with much more resources and staffing. And then we have been a part of PBIS with RISA for over 20 years now. We are continually improving, evaluating, and updating our program. Does anyone have any questions?
Leave it up to the board. Any questions? I really did. Yes, Trustee Williams.
How are PBIS teachers picked?
It's volunteer.
Oh, they volunteer.
Yes. So that's why some buildings have 2 coaches and some just have 1.
Yeah, that's what I was
Yep.
wondering.
Yep, it's volunteer basis.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Any other questions? Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Okay, the next item on the superintendent report, I'd like to welcome Dr. Getzinger, Maria Getzinger. She is our CFO for the school district, and she is going to do 2 presentations. The first one is the amended budget summary, and the second one is RP for auditing firms. And I know that Maria brought some extra copies, so if some of the audience members would like a copy of what she's going to present, we do have copies right here on the table.
Hey, good evening, everyone. We'll jump right in with the budget presentation. I am on page 1. Well, it's actually probably page 2 in your book. It's the general fund revenue. So,
Maria, can we have you kind of scoot a little bit more towards the mic? So
sure. How's
thank
that?
you.
Okay. So not much has changed in the revenue from the projected budget. Let me just go back to here. Our original budget had our revenue at $36,719,649. The amended budget has our revenue at $36,748,896. So not a large change in our revenue, just small tweaks based on the information that we currently have. When we projected the budget in June, you recall we didn't have our pupil counts and things that we really needed to firm up our budget. So now we have all of those. So these are the solid numbers that we have right now. We are projecting to take about $2,048,596 out of our fund balance. That is a planned spend down of our fund balance, which we will get into further in my presentation, which still leaves us with a very healthy fund balance of $12,125,337. Moving on to the expenditures. In the original budget, our expenditures were $37,776,965. They are slightly increased in the amendment to $38,797,492. The majority of the increase is due to an operating transfer from the general fund to a capital projects fund to plan for long-term reserves for maintenance of our facilities. There is a separate page for that fund in the future part of my presentation. And this slide shows the same $38,797,492, but it's split by how we spend it: salaries, benefits, purchase service, materials, supplies, and capital outlay. And for some reason my graph won't download, but you have it on your presentation there on paper, the old-fashioned way. And then this is just a slide that shows the functions down the side and the objects across the top of how we are spending our money. We are to a point where we are almost through with all of our COVID money that we received. We just have ESSER 3 left, with a plan to spend that down hopefully by June 30th, so when the auditors come, they can just audit that tail end of our COVID money and we can put that to bed. And we won't even have to talk about those funding sources in 24-25. Next is the cafeteria fund. Not any real major changes to this fund other than updating the fund balance based on the start of the school year on new fund balance, and just making a few tweaks based on the current activity in the food service fund. Next is our student activity fund, and again, no changes there other than updating the fund balance from the original budget, because now we know what that fund balance is, now that we have closed out our fiscal year. The next fund is our debt fund, and again, no changes in the revenue or expenditures, just updating the fund balance there for the board to approve. Let me see if I can make it to the next tab. Here we go. Okay, sinking fund. We collect about $1 million every year for our sinking fund, and we have about $1,290,000 to spend from previous years, and we're projecting to spend about $1.5 million in our sinking fund to leave a still very healthy fund balance of almost $800,000. The next fund is our new capital projects fund, which is funded by an operating transfer from the general fund of $2 million, and this is a planned transfer to start planning for repairs and maintenance of our facilities in the future. There is no beginning fund balance because it's a brand new fund, and we are not planning on spending any of that. So it's you just see the revenue piece of it, but no offsetting expenditure. So we're hoping to continue to plan for future reserves for our capital projects going forward with additional funding in this capital projects fund. The next is our 2021 bond that we are just coming down the tail end of spending. I just took a look at it yesterday. I think we have a couple $100,000 left to spend. Hopefully we will spend that by June 30th, and we can also have the auditors come in and audit this fund, and we won't have to call them back for substantial completion, and we can be done with this capital project fund as well. And that reaches the end of our budget book, where the last couple of pages are just like an explanation of what those functions are. Are there any questions of me from the school board?
Yes, trustee Gator.
Thank you, Dr. Kissinger, for presenting. Something that came up, I believe, when I was in finance and in building and site was, and I believe I'm speaking correctly, it was your recommendation to have a capital project fund, right, for
Yes.
future projects.
That's right.
And if we don't use that, it can go back in general fund?
That's right.
And I just wanted to make sure I remember that.
Absolutely.
Okay,
That is true.
thank you.
Anybody else have any questions? Yes, trustee Williams.
Where, if they're looking in the package, where would they find anything for any payouts that we have?
Yes, so that is an excellent question. The first two employees that had a payout were paid out in the 22-23 school year, so you won't see it in this year's budget. And the last one was under negotiation still when I was amending this budget. So I don't have those numbers, didn't have those numbers, so they're not in this presentation. Once that has concluded, we will see that in our final budget.
Any other questions from the board? I want to thank you for the amended budget presentation.
So, we good to go?
Yep, good to
Okay.
go.
Thank you, Dr. Kissinger.
Yeah, so one other thing then that
Yep.
she's gonna present
For
is
sure.
the-
Wait, I'm sorry.
I just wanted to ask, so this is on the next board agenda for approval?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep. This is just an amendment, so.
Right, thanks.
And actually, let me update, right? So thank you. So the next item on for superintendent's presentation, Dr. Getzinger's done a lot of work on actually 2 RFPs. The food service one, and that's taken a lot of her time. So we do appreciate that, but she's ready to present the RFP on auditing firms.
Sure. So let's just spend 1 second updating the board on where we stand with the food service RFP. That is a very, very lengthy process. We got started way ahead of time, so we're in really good shape. Where our very first event is going to be a planned walkthrough on April 3rd at 1 o'clock. So all of our prospective bidders will come to our district and look at our cafeteria. We have put the notice in the newspaper, and the Michigan Department of Education has my draft RFP. They want 3 weeks to review it, and we're coming close to approaching that 3-week time frame. So right now the ball is in MDE's court, but I'm not anticipating that this process is going to have any hiccups. I'm anticipating a very smooth process to getting a recommendation to the board long before June 30th. And then as far as the auditors go, we put out an RFP for our audit services. We've solicited bids from the top 5 auditing firms in the state of Michigan. They're Yo & Yo, Raymond, Lewis & Knopf, Manor Costerison, and Plant Moran. Our current auditors are Raymond, and they declined to submit a bid for our job, which I think is interesting, but that's okay. There's a lot of work to do and not a lot of people that do this work. We did receive bids from Maynard Costerison and Yo & Yo, and at this time I am recommending to the board that we go with the lowest bidder, which is Maynard Costerison.
And that would be for an action item for the next meeting.
And it's a 3-year contract.
Okay, questions, trustee Dyroff?
Yes. So the reason your recommendation is just because it's lower, they were pretty much neck and neck and everything?
They were. So I have experience with only Maynard. I've never gone through a Yo & Yo audit. Some of my contracted clients right now have Yo as a client, so this will be my first year. But I've had great success with Maynard as our auditors, and I'm not anticipating any issues with them. We did not have a smooth audit this year. I think we have mentioned that, despite our best attempts at being super prepared when our auditors came here. We were trying to avoid that situation this year. So in the RFP, I put specific timelines, like I need the audit report by October 1st, so we're not having a fire drill. And I think that that's part of the reason why our current auditors may not have responded. They can't maybe fit our timelines, but we just couldn't go through another audit like what we had this past year. It was really, really rough, unnecessarily so.
So when you say rough, it was basically because of the timelines and
So we started early, right? So we had them in the third week in July, which our fiscal year ends June 30th. And so we were really prepared knowing that we had this tight timeline to be ready for. We thought we got in first, we would just put the audit to bed and we could go on with our summer and preparing for our upcoming school year. But what actually happened was they picked us up and put us down as they worked through their school clients, and it created a 4-month audit window where they were constantly asking us questions on and off through this 4-month period and struggled to get the audit report to the school board when I had asked for it by like October 15th. You know, since they were here in July, there shouldn't be any reason why that timeline was unattainable. But I'm not slamming them. I mean, it's first off, lots of audit clients are dropping school districts because they can't find people to do this work. There is a nationwide shortage in the accounting world. It's very hard to find people that going into public accounting. I think people are retiring out of the profession. There's like a 300,000 person shortage nationwide in people that do the work that I do, which is kind of good for me because, right, it's job security, but it's not good for districts because they can't find people to sit in the chairs doing the finance work, but they also can't find people to be on the other side and audit that work as well. So it's just hard to find people to do this work.
Thank you so much for your presentations.
Thank you. Thanks for bringing those up.
At this time, we're going to move forward with the superintendent's recommendations, starting with the certified staff appointments, Exhibit 5 in your packet. Be it resolved that the Board of Education accepts the following certified staff appointments. Valerie Christopherson. This is a lateral move from 2nd grade Polk to Math COSA Elementary. Effective date September 3rd, 2024. Jonelle Gillette, a third-party contractor, speech language pathologist, effective date March 11th, 2024. Tanya Moore, HRA Grant Clinical Nurse District, effective date March 11th, 2024. Samantha Strange, third-party contractor, special ed resource OW Best, March 6, 2024. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Moved by trustee Gator.
Support.
Support by trustee Winless. Any questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Dyrov, yes. Mr. Leading?
Yes.
Mrs. Winless?
Yes.
Ms. Gator?
Yes.
Mr. Wall?
Yes. Motion carries. So, non-certified staff appointments, exhibit number 6 in your packet. Be it resolved that the Board of Education accepts the following non-certified staff appointments. Sarah Brandt, Media Specialist, Parapro, Bedford. Effective date to be determined. This is a lateral move. Sheila Jordan, Admin Assistant for Annapolis High School. Effective date April 1st, 2024. Hopefully I do this right. Amina Mohammed, Parapro, Annapolis High School. Effective date March 19th, 2024. Chelsea Sambrook, Media Specialist, Parapro, Bedford and Pardee. Effective date March 18th, 2024. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Moved by trustee Gator.
Support.
Support by trustee Winless. Questions or concerns? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Winless?
Yes.
Mr. Leading?
Yes.
Mrs. Dyrov, yes. Ms. Gator?
Yes.
Mr. Wall?
Yes, motion carries. Non-certified staff resignations, exhibit number 7 in your packet. Be it resolved that the Board of Education accepts the following non-certified staff resignation. Michelle Anthony, GSRP, Child Care in Madison, effective date March 11, 2024. May I have a motion?
So moved again.
Support.
Moved by trustee Gator, supported by trustee Windless. Questions, concerns? Roll call, please.
Ms. Sterling?
Yes.
Ms. Gager?
Yes.
Mrs. Wendlas?
Yes.
Mrs. Dyrop, yes. Mr. Wall?
Yes, motion carries. District-wide Professional Development Advisory Committee, exhibit number 8 in your packet. Be it resolved that the Board of Education approves the establishment of a district-wide Professional Development Advisory Committee per State School Aid Act MCL 388.1701, and in parentheses, 10.
So moved.
Moved by trustee Dyrop,
Support.
supported by trustee Windless. Questions or comments?
I do.
Yes.
President Wall, it's for Mark, through the president. Is there an opportunity for any board members to serve on this committee or no?
It's staff-driven.
Staff?
Yeah, it's not a board committee. But by law, I have to have you guys approve the
Understood.
development of the committee.
Okay, thank you for that.
Roll call, please.
Ms. Sterling?
Yes.
Ms. Gator?
Yes.
Mrs. Wendlas?
Yes.
Mrs. Dyrop, yes. Mr. Wall?
Yes, motion carries. Bedford Party and Polk YMCA Storer Camp Field Trip, exhibit number 9 in your packet. Be it resolved that the Board of Education approves Bedford Party and Polk students to attend the YMCA Storer Camp December 10th through December 13th, 2024 in Jackson, Michigan as presented. Motion, sorry. Thank you.
Support.
Moved by trustee Sterling, supported by trustee Windless. Any questions or concerns? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Wendlas?
Yes.
Ms. Sterling?
Yes.
Mrs. Dyrop, yes. Ms. Gator?
Yes.
Mr. Wall?
Yes, motion carries. Board member MASB virtual conference attendance, exhibit number 10 in your packet. Be it resolved that the Board of Education approves the virtual attendance of Latanya Gator for CBS class 381, focus on student achievement, April 2nd, 2024, at a cost to the district of $99.
So moved.
Moved by trustee Dyrop, supported by trustee Windless. Questions, concerns? Roll call, please.
Ms. Sterling?
Yes.
Ms. Gator?
Yes.
Mrs. Dyrop, yes. Mrs. Wendlas?
Yes.
Mr. Wall?
Yes, motion carries.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Annapolis High School donation, exhibit number 11. Be it resolved that the Board of Education approves the charitable donation as presented. This generous contribution comes from a company that has chosen to remain anonymous and has requested no recognition for their philanthropy. Why did I have to say that one? That's right. The entirety of this donation will be allocated toward the installation of 16 Verkada SV23 environmental sensors, along with a 10-year license. The donation is in the amount of $31,115.04. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Moved by trustee Gator. Supported by trustee Sterling. Any questions or concerns? Okay, we'll start with trustee Dyrop.
So I had sent you a question about this. So how was it determined? I'm sure you're going to answer, but how was it determined that this money would go towards this? Or did they donate specifically for this?
Donated specifically for this, and these are vape detectors.
Oh,
It's
yes.
just a fancy word for
Yeah.
Yes.
Great. Thank you.
Trustee Gator.
Not sure if this is known or not. Does this cover the full cost of the vape detectors? And everything regarding it, like installation?
Yes, and we actually are test driving a couple of them in our district right now on donations. So this will take care of the cost of installation, putting them in, and having them functionable.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
I just wanted,
Yes, trustee.
I just wanted to know if we could get like training on how it would be used for like disciplinary for students going forward.
Training as in
Or
the actual
maybe I could
units.
talk to you.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, so just,
offline.
yep, great question. That would be part of the handbook, and we would make sure that we're following that. These are alerts, so we would know, but.
And the updated handbooks, parents will be notified that these are being installed in the school and we will be used for disciplinary.
Definitely, yep.
Any other questions? Roll call, please.
Mr. Laney?
Yes.
Ms. Gator?
Yes.
Mrs. Winless?
Yes.
Mrs. Dyroff? Yes. Mr. Wall?
Yes, motion carries. Football helmets, exhibit number 12 in the packet. Be it resolved that the Board of Education approves the purchase of 24 new football helmets from Riddle All-American Sports for Annapolis High School for a total of $10,545. Monies will be derived from the general fund. May I have a motion? Moved by trustee Winless.
Support.
Supported by trustee Gator. Questions? Yes, trustee Gator.
Yeah, and through the president to Mark, I'm assuming, and I know you put this in our weekly update, so I appreciate that, but I'm assuming that Mr. Buchanan is the one who priced this out. And so, like, not that we have to go cheap with something as important as helmets, but where did this price come from, and was it like reasonable in comparison to other companies?
Yes, and the company does much of the helmet work across the state of Michigan.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Reputable
it's almost,
company.
yes, it's almost like a single source,
Got it.
the Rydell
Okay.
company, yep.
So
Yep,
it's
we've
priced.
used them in all districts, yep.
Got it.
And the price is pretty much set.
Sweet.
Yep.
Thank you.
And then I just had one question. As it comes from the general fund, but it's broken down to the athletic portion of the general fund?
Yes, so great question. So the athletic fund is part of the general fund. It just will be coded in the athletics area on the budget.
Thank you. Any other questions? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Dyroff? Yes. Mr. Laney?
Yes.
Ms. Gator?
Yes.
Mrs. Winless?
Yes.
Mr. Wall?
Yes, motion carries. Dearborn Heights School District number 7, Governance Team Operation Norms, exhibit number 13. Be it resolved that the Board of Education accepts the revised Dearborn Heights School District number 7, Governance Team Operation Norms as presented. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Moved by trustee Winless, supported by trustee Sterlini. Questions, comments? Yes, trustee Dyroff.
Okay, so, I see that you removed number 6, right? Okay, so I had sent in some suggestions the day after the last meeting, and they're not noted. So, I'm just gonna go through them, and then I wonder if perhaps we should wait to vote on this, consider what I have to say, think about it, and then perhaps with a full board vote on something that's important. So my suggestions were to remove number, I had number 6, it's number 16, it's number 6, sorry about that. Number 14, we will welcome those who come to see us with problems, listen to their concerns, and refer concerned individuals to the appropriate staff member. So this is a big bone of contention since we quit answering questions of the community members that come up. I personally see zero problem with answering the question when they're asked. If we don't know the answer, there is nothing wrong with saying, we don't know the answer, we'll get back to you. The process was supposed to be that people would ask questions and then they would get an email with an answer. I haven't seen that happen in months. I'm not sure, maybe it is and we're just not getting copies anymore. But I feel, Derek, that you are quite capable to answer these questions, as is Mark. And if it's something that we don't want to answer, we can thank them and move on. But I mean, for the most part, it's transparency. Everyone gets to ask a question and hear an answer. And I, for one, think that it should go back to that. And truthfully, it doesn't, unless there's a vote, it doesn't even have to be this way. You can decide that on your own, that you're going to answer. Unless it's changed in this document or stays this way in this document, we vote that way. So anyway, that's my 2 cents on answering a question. There's been many a time that I've seen Mark like chomp at the bit to answer, and he can't. And then there's been plenty of times that we have asked him a question and he has said, I don't have an answer right now, I'll get back to you all. It's full transparency. I feel like we've come a long way, and I just feel like we should move forward in a positive, transparent way. So that's my 2 cents on that. 16 and 18, I thought that they should be combined. Questions for the superintendent as well as requests for information go through the board president, and then follow with no surprises or gotcha moments at the board table to allow each member the opportunity to make a thorough and informed decision. I kind of thought that those went together, and then I do think that we should have a new one that says that board members are encouraged to develop a relationship with the superintendent so that board members don't feel stifled, that we have to go through you, and that we can't just call and say, hey, how's it going, and develop our own personal relationship. It's really important that board members have a relationship with the superintendent, in my opinion. So those are my suggestions, and like I said, I feel like we should wait on this to the next meeting.
So I actually agree on waiting because we don't have everybody here is one thing too. The other thing about being available for Mark and that was one thing that the former superintendent wanted to have people come and see him. Now, some people didn't do that though, but I haven't checked with Mr. Kleinhans, but I think he pretty much has an open door of that. I don't think it necessarily I don't think it necessarily has to be on here, but if you want it, I mean, just like, just to encourage, like new members or something like that, I wouldn't have anything against that.
I'm also,
Yes.
I'm also in favor of like tabling this until we have a full board here to give a full voice so we can do it correctly. I have some things that I would like to, not necessarily bring to the board's attention, but I have some discussion points to Mandy's point, but I'll be better prepared to share it if we can table this.
So what I'd like to do, if possible, to maybe Wednesday, I'm gonna send an email out and ask if everybody could try to send it by Saturday, just so that way then I can send it to everybody too, last moment, so that way it's not a last moment.
Gives us time to think about it.
Right, yeah, because then that way, if I get some more things, then by Monday's not usually a good day for me, but Monday I'll try to get it all back out again. Hey, these are the new things to think about.
Yeah.
So that way, hopefully, we can. The nice thing is we don't have another meeting for a few weeks. So.
Do you want me to send you again what I already sent you?
Please.
Sure.
Please, yes. Thank you. Okay, so at this time it looks like we want to just table this.
Well, maybe ask the other board members.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Right.
Well, that's what I'm asking.
Yeah.
I didn't say let's table, I'm saying do we want to table it?
So I'll resend I rescind my motion.
All right, so at this time we're going to table. We're going to table the governance team operation norms. Okay, may I have a motion to table Dearborn Heights School District Number 7 governance team operation norms?
So move.
Moved by Trustee Gator.
Support.
Supported by Trustee Windless. Roll call, please.
Can I say something first before roll call?
Sure.
So on the next agenda, it won't be a motion, it'll be a discussion item?
That sounds good to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't think that's something that's we have to have right away, so
Yeah.
I'm putting that on my list as a discussion.
Okay, thank you.
Roll call, please.
Ms. Sterlini?
Yes.
Ms. Gator?
Yes.
Mrs. Windlass?
Yes.
Mrs. Dyroff, yes. Mr. Wall?
Yes, motion carries to table. Superintendent contract, exhibit number 14. Be it resolved that the Board of Education approves the contract of Mark Kleinhans, Superintendent, Dearborn Heights School District Number 7, in accordance with the terms and conditions of the contract presented.
So moved.
May I have a motion? Trustee Windless. Supported by Trustee Sterlini. Any questions or concerns? Yes, Trustee Dyroff.
Couldn't be happier about this. But I guarantee you that someone's going to stand up and ask for some transparency on this contract. So I don't know if we want to say anything about it.
just an overall salary amount that we're approving. And, you know, they can FOIA, but they shouldn't have to. We should just be able to say, we're gonna pay our superintendent and be happy about it. And I do want to thank you guys for your work on this, and Jeremy Chisholm.
So, does the board have any objection to me saying anything?
No, it's public.
Okay. So what I will tell you is that this contract is similar to other contracts. There only is a difference with how the funds are being allocated. Everything has been done legally through the attorney. And I don't know if I want to really explain anything more than that, but basically our district is similar to what we're paying for the prior superintendent. When you take all the benefits and everything that a district pays, salary, retirement, insurance, all the like titles, credentials and all that. So when we did comparisons, we found that it was very similar. So I can't really give you an exact amount of like what was the specific No, I'm just saying I don't know it.
I think you should just get the base salary.
Oh,
yes, absolutely.
So base salary is $150,000.
There you go. Thank you.
Thank you. Sorry.
That's a whole
I wasn't sure.
I'm sorry, it wasn't clear.
That's why I didn't want to just say it.
Sorry, I hope it's okay, but yeah, they won't.
Yeah. You want to say anything before we go? No, I'll wait.
And again, thank you for your work on this. I appreciate that.
If there's no more questions or comments, let's go to a roll call.
Mr. Lee?
Yes.
Ms. Gator?
Yes.
Mrs. Dyrock? Yes. Mrs. Winless?
Yes.
Mr. Wall?
Yes. Congratulations.
So I know it's not customary for me to speak after, but I want to make sure I had 4 votes, right? No, just kidding. So, but please know, and I thank the committee as well. This did take a bit. It had more to do with schedules and timing and all of that kind of stuff, but I thank the work that was done on this. I also really appreciate the confidence that you folks have in me to lead the district. When I came here, my goal was to kind of fade off being an assistant superintendent and thought I could really help. And so I didn't see myself becoming a superintendent. I was one for about 14 years of my career. But as I got here and I engaged with the board and certainly with folks that are sitting out here, with staff members, it became clear to me, and I truly, truly mean this. There are people that care immensely about this school district, about its staff, and about the work that we do. And it starts at the top with the Board of Education. So I really appreciate your trust in me to continue to move the district forward. I'm excited about what the future holds, and I just want to thank everybody and thank the district. This really is a special place, so thank you.
Okay, soccer program at Annapolis High School, exhibit number 15. Be it resolved that the Board of Education approves the adoption of a boys and girls soccer program for grades 9 through 12 at Annapolis High School to begin the 2024-2025 school year as presented. Monies will be derived from the General Athletic Fund. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Trustee Gator.
Support.
Supported by Trustee Winless. Any questions or concerns? Yes, Trustee Winless.
I just wanted to verify if this is for the JV team as well as the varsity team, because the numbers kind of only look like it's for varsity.
And I believe that's a great question. I believe it's going to be dependent upon numbers. So if the numbers, we get the large turnout that I think we will have, then we may have to come back and ask the board for that. But I believe that when this presentation was made, it was for coaching. Now I know what some school districts do, like they'll have like 3 or 4 staff, and then they just divvy up based on how many numbers and if there's JV or varsity. So
Okay, I think we have the numbers for both. So basically, once they have the overage or the wait list, then we'll come back here and we'll establish the JV team?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, trustee Strelly.
When I spoke to him about, he had mentioned that, like Margaret said, that they're gonna see how many they have and then they come back for it. So it's, there's a thought there to keep having JV and varsity. So that's all.
And then one thing I wanted to ask, just for clarification, is this would not be for this year's budget that we were.
Yes, that's correct. So once the board approves this, then this will be placed in the next year's budget.
That comes before us in June.
Correct.
Okay, any questions or concerns? Roll call, please.
Mr. Laney?
Yes.
Ms. Gator?
Yes.
Mrs. Winless?
Yes.
Mrs. Dyroff, yes. Mr. Wall?
Yes, motion carries. Okay, we're going to go to unfinished business. Is there any unfinished business to be brought to the board? Okay, we're going to go to new business. Any new business that needs to go to the board? All right, we're going to District Point of Pride. Mr. Kleinhans.
Yes, thank you. So a shout out to everybody who was involved in the Family Fun Night. It was a great event. I want to thank Tom Wenzel, all the staff members. We had staff members there. Tom kind of organized the whole thing and everyone else jumped in. Community members, vendors, folks donated. I know people up here donated money, people out there donated money. So it really was a neat event. And I got a little story, I think, that tells it all. One of the local vendors donated some geraniums, and then the kids could go in and fill up a little, I think it was a plastic McDonald's cup, and then put the geraniums in there, and then they had a little squirt bottle, and then they wrote a little note, put it in there. So I'm walking out, and this little girl, she couldn't have been, I mean, just a tiny little thing. She's got her hands on this cup, which is bigger than her head, right? And she's got a smile on her face and was so excited to buzz out and show her parents what she just did. So it was that's just one example of the event. So I want to thank everybody who was part of that. It really was a cool event. I do believe we're going to, talking to Tom, there's some adjustments we can make on timing, some things that we can do to increase participation next year, but I know it just really wasn't. I know some people up here volunteered as well, so thank you to everybody. It just really was a cool event. I also want to thank Marcy Jopi, Don Lipinski, and Dr. Portscheller for their work last night on the spelling bee. I thought we'd still be there spelling because we had 3 amazing spellers that were just going on and on and on. But I want to thank Mr. Wall for emceeing. I went to bed last night in my mind saying, the word is, and I couldn't spell it again, no. So, and the judges, I know that Mary Beth and Pat's out here, she was a judge, and Leslie was a judge. So I'll just thank everybody. It was a great evening. The kids did very well. It's clear we have some pretty talented spellers in our school district. So just to update from the buildings, Madison, the Madison staff has been warm and welcoming to new staff members. We had to place some folks, our school nurses that were grant funded. We cleaned out an area, a classroom, and put them over to Madison. So they've opened those folks with open arms, so that's really good. They've had a reading log going on all month, and students have logged in, and as a result, they've been able to silly string teachers, Polk. At Polk, they're excited to have participated in the spelling bee. 10th, 4th, and 5th graders from each elementary were part of that. They're holding a family reading night on Thursday, March 21st from 5 to 6:30. The theme is Be a Champion and Read. So that's tomorrow night. Okay. So if you're interested, there's going to be all kinds of fun activities, a sports raffle, and the PTO will be selling refreshments on that evening. Party, successful family reading night, spelling bee, they're part of. The 5th grade classes visited OW Best at Bedford, of course, with the reading month, it's wrapping up. Elementary district-wide spelling bee that they were part of. The 5th grades also have been visiting Best and having lunch with their pen pals. And they did have Gina Trotman, Channel 7 sportscaster, visited Bedford actually is visiting Bedford tomorrow. OW Best, they're holding a National Junior Honor Society inductee ceremony on April 4th. Congratulations to all the students. The baseball and softball teams are in full swing, okay? No pun intended, there you go. Fifth grade transition activity started this month. The counselors visited the elementary classrooms and gave presentations to the students about the middle school. Fifth grade students and visited OW Best, and following week to tour the building, have lunch with their sixth grade pen pals. I really think it's cool that they're making those connections. And the eighth grade visited Annapolis for college fair. At Annapolis, March 4th was an amazing spirit week. I was bopping over there. It was kind of cool. Kids did a great job. Mr. Nasser did a great job with the band, and Dr. Prince put on another great career fair. So I just want to say I thank you all and everyone who supports our students, and I want to wish our staff, students, and our families, most importantly, a safe and a restful spring break next week. So thank you.
At this point, I'm going to open up for public comment. Please come up if you would like an answer to your question. Please write it down for now, and we will get that to you. I will make sure that I follow up with that. Right, now I put my word on this. So once again, and but please name, association, and if you do want to reply, make sure it's something there that we can follow up with. Thank you.
This is Sean. Okay. Rachel LaPointe, Merrick Street, Dearborn Heights, all that fun stuff, right? I always forget I get more time here than at City Council. So with PBIS, I'm glad it came up tonight when I'm here. My 7th grader has brought up, he loves like when they do the activities and stuff, where he kind of has mentioned sort of some constructive criticism is that he feels like sometimes with the more everyday stuff like the getting caught being good or like those kind of like everyday sort of parts of the system, he feels that as like one of the kind of generally good kids, he doesn't really get noticed. Like when they did caught being good like last year, he's like, I tried really hard to get caught being good and not once did a teacher ever give me a thing. So like he kind of, it seems like he feels like the kids that are usually the bad kids, when they're doing something good, they get caught being good all the time because the teachers are probably more looking for it. And I thought that was a really astute observation from a 7th grade boy, who are not always known for their astute observations. He also is working with his friends on a project that I was going to work on, and he took it over without me ever even telling him about it. So I'll bring it up to you guys. I would love to see, and him and all his friends would love to see at the middle school, and honestly, I'll advocate for the high schoolers. They need recess still. They're still kids. They need time to be able to play. And sometimes the feedback I get from him, it sounds like he's in jail. It sounds like it's just work, and I know sometimes like that's just kids complaining, right? But like they're feeling like the need for a little bit of free time, and I've done research on it before. It really is helpful. It helps with the behavior issues too, that kids need that mental break. And sometimes the brain breaks in classes aren't always enough. So that's one thing that I'll bring up for him. And then on a city-related note, I'm on our new City Council Public Safety Committee. And this is an unofficial hi from the committee because I did not ask them ahead of time, told them I was going to be here. But unofficially, hi. We're super excited to work with the school districts on getting school zone like painting and like figuring out that whole plan. We're going to be making the recommendations to council on what exactly needs to be done. So Mr. Clients, look forward to hearing from me and Margaret King soon. And we'll be meeting with you to discuss what needs to happen here in D7. And have a good night, guys.
Thank you.
Amanda Moran, best teacher, 201 Powers. I was super excited to hear about the vapes going in with the donation in Annapolis. If that is successful, could we possibly consider putting them in at Best? I think it would help a lot. So maybe out of the general fund, if it works, we put it in at Best. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
The monitors.
Monitors, not the dispensers.
We understood that. We understood
Don't
that.
worry, I was gonna piggyback on you. Jen Mast, OW Best. I just made a bunch of notes. I wasn't planning to come up again. Yes, she meant the vape monitors, not a dispenser in the bathroom. But it is a problem at the middle school. You probably don't think it is, but it really is. It happens all the time. So monitors at the middle school would be great as well. A couple of things just from listening to the meeting. I can't say enough about the leadership projects. I loved the leadership projects when I was a superintendent too, and if I can imagine how proud Amanda feels watching them, but I'm kind of emotional. The teachers who've had those kids when they were younger, it is so impressive to see them come up and talk and just the things they do. It's super wonderful. Such a great program, Amanda. So proud of what you do. Yeah. A couple things about, one more thing. Oh my gosh, December for 5th grade camp is a nightmare. I know that's probably the only day they could get, but thank God I'm not a 5th grade teacher anymore. Whew, okay, and then a couple things about accountability. I know Maria well. Maria's great. I do think we need to take a little bit of accountability. I think it speaks volumes that Raymond did not bid that project again. And I heard what she said. I heard that they were kind of disorganized and all of that. But we need to recognize that we were a hot mess for a couple of years. And that probably wasn't easy for them either. So I just, in the interest of transparency and accountability, I don't think we should assume that was all on the part of Raymond, that they didn't bid the project, because it's been a rough go in the finance department here. We haven't had a business manager, things like that. So just wanted to, for the interest of accountability. In response to my questions about the line items on the budget, I did put my sheet in here. That is public information. And those amounts we should not have to track those down. I'm willing to track them down, but we shouldn't have to track them down. It's public information. If people want those numbers, we should get those numbers, just like we got Mark's contract amount. Great, we're not up here to criticize, we just want that information. I shouldn't have to go back to the 2022-23 budget to look at item number 283, function amount. Just tell us what the amounts are. People just want to know the amounts. How much did we spend to get those three and we know who's to blame. We're not blaming the board. People just want the information. It's public. I don't know why we have to track it down. The union FOIA'd it. It was over $2,000 they wanted for that amount to get two numbers. It's insane. It should come out. It should be public. I'm happy about Mark's contract. Thank you, Mark, for staying. And yeah, not sour grapes either, but that should be, thank you for asking. So much criticism when I used to negotiate my contract publicly. It's public information. It shouldn't be a secret. The people would probably want to get more, so make it public. That's all of that. The only other thing that I had, I did have one thing I wanted to say. I said this before too, years ago. I feel like a lot of things get held up in this district because our attorneys slow roll everything, and I think they do it for money. That's my opinion. I don't have any proof of that, but I feel like we should put a little pressure on them to move a little quicker on everything. That's that. And then last thing, I was just curious to know what the amount was for the soccer program. I'm so glad we're doing the soccer program. We tried to do that when I was superintendent. We didn't have as much support in the athletic department then. But I'm assuming that the amount was given in the presentation, but it wasn't in the motion. I wish it was in the motion, so I wanted to know that. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hey there. Jeez.
You got a little box, just get squeeze it.
Being short is not that great sometimes. Let's see. I'll try to stand on my chair. Oh, okay. Look at that. Now it's my size. Heather Sanders, 1440 May Street. So me and Jen were kind of on the same page about a few things. So I just wanted to say that our leadership students did such a great job. I liked both of what they had to talk about, but I did want to touch on Kennedy's amazing idea. God, if we could make that happen. I did want to, one of the things that she said about, well, first I'll talk about the struggles. Like, my son was not the biggest sportsy kid, but a lot of his friends were. So I know all the struggles that our athletes have with everything that she talked about, especially with Sam at the high school now. And it's a constant discussion. Like, nobody has room. Kids are practicing in the hallway sometimes for things. And I don't think that's very fair. Let's see. Okay, so also with our athletic program, I love Mr. Buchanan, and I think he's doing an amazing job. But I think that I think more could be done, not by him, but just like as an effort from everybody. One of the things that Kennedy talked about was a competitive cheer program. So I personally have a daughter who has been competitive cheer since she was 3, and she's a freshman now. I think our district would be so awesome if we did that. But I think one of the things to note is that Dearborn Heights has a competitive cheer program. So we would kind of benefit from that because so many of our girls go to Dearborn Heights cheer, which is right here, Sammy being one of them. And so it was like we almost got everything that program put into these kids, and then they would be able to come to the high school and show off their competitive cheer. Sideline cheer is, so if you're not a cheer person, sideline cheer and competitive cheer are 2 different worlds. And so a lot of the competitive cheer girls do go to the high school, but it's just different. It's just different. So I would love that one day if we could start a competitive cheer program, and before my kid graduates, please. Let's see. I wrote a lot of stuff here, and it's already been talked about. So glad to hear that 5th grade camp is coming back. Sammy was actually the last class that did away camp before COVID, and so it's really amazing it's coming back. I agree with Jen, December. We've always went in November, and it was miserable in November. I can only imagine how miserable it's going to be in December. Hopefully, we can get a time block where they can go in spring and enjoy themselves a little bit more. Let's see. The audience participation thing, I'm going to talk about that. I think that is amazing to bring that back. We have a great board, things are good, and let's just be honest, we had a tyrant of a board president then who didn't like things that were going on, and it was a personal thing. It wasn't to benefit the school district or anything else. It was because that was something that benefited her, and then we had a superintendent that came right along after her that was the same way. So I think it would be a great thing for everybody if we could put it back the way it was. Everybody up there is capable of answering questions, and none of us are asking bad questions. So, and if we are, we very well can say, hey, Heather, we'll get back to you on that, and I would be okay with that. More okay than you guys just not answering me. We talked about how much, a little bit, the base pay that Mark is getting. I would like to know how long we have him locked in here before somebody steals him. And that's something anyone could answer me right now if they wanted to. So, Family Fun Night was amazing. Everything was great. We had a lot of help from everybody. And Joey's Bench. I seen that it's finally installed. I know that was a collaboration of everybody getting that done. It looks amazing, and I personally wanted to say thank you to everybody that had something to do with that. And recess for middle schoolers. Sounds like a good idea to me. I think the high school students would like that too, but I'm not really sure about that one. But during COVID, they did get to go outside a little bit and like walk around or something. That might not be a bad idea if staff was told they were allowed to do that if they wanted to. I don't know if they're told they're not allowed, but yeah, I'm not too sure about the middle school or the high school students going out for a recess, but I'd be okay with it. And thank you all for anyone can.
Virginia Morgan. I'm not doing my best this week, so just bear with me, okay? I tried to make it as neat as possible so I could read it. I wanted to just talk a minute about the budget. I'm sorry that the business manager only stayed 45 minutes because maybe she could have answered some more questions. She said that the budget that was presented to you last July 1st included the 2 payouts. If you remember, last year's budget hearing was not the best. There was no opportunity for any questions or answers. So you adopted a budget that perhaps you might not have known had the 2 payouts. I'm looking at the presentation sheet, and nowhere on here is there a date. So the actual expenditures for 2000, the original budget and the amended budget, when did you make this amendment? Was it last month or in November or tonight? So is this the date, is this the amount as of, what is this, March 1st or March 20th? I mean, what is the, we have no idea what this difference is. Let's see, I wanted to say, of course, the 2 that Mandy brought up, the 2 issues, the one about norms. You know, you all are highly intelligent. I love all of you. You're good people. We shouldn't have rules around you about what you can do and how you should act. I mean, that's more of a kindergarten thing, you know. We all stand in line and you can't talk when you're going to the bathroom or something like that. The other issue about answering questions. If your child came to you and had a question, would you say to them, oh, I can't answer that right now, and put them off for a month or something? Or would you say to them, well, this is the answer, and if I don't know the answer, I'll get right back with you. But he is a fabulous person, a young person. So it says, for all you have done in District 7 athletic program in such a short time. So I wanted to submit that. The other one is to Mark, from me. Well, I won't read it because it makes me cry. Anyway, thank you for listening to community members. Recently, John Zadikian posted a picture of the plaque that is at Pardee School. So it started some fury on Facebook about Pardee School. So I recommended that some people might want to read my favorite book about District 7, about this area. So several people have read it. In fact, someone put down that they had read it in 5th grade. At one time, I wanted to make it mandatory reading. So at this time, I'd like to present this to Mark.
Is it the Bark-Covered House? It is. I guessed it. I love that book.
It's called The Bark-Covered Cottage. It's about Mr. Pardee, who had the Pardee farm, and it shows the boundaries of Van Born, Telegraph. Of course, you know what happened on Telegraph. That's where the Telegraph ran. And it also talks about the Nolan family, and everybody knows where the cemetery is. And I thought that this might help them realize that we've been around since 1830, so we've been here a long, long time, and I haven't been here that long. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
And Virginia, I can say thank you so much. I appreciate it, and I appreciate your kind comments.
Do you want the kudos?
Yeah, we'll come get it. Okay, any other public comment? All right, at this point, we're going to go to other business. First up would be board committee updates. I know it says for building and site for today, but that's not going to happen. We just had it, that's why we were late today, so we can't put that together that quick. Sorry. And I don't have any other updates on any other committees. Okay. Upcoming board committee meetings. Nothing is scheduled. Policy committee is for Wednesday, April 3rd at 5:15 p.m. Technology Committee, nothing scheduled, and the Citizen Advisory Committee would be tomorrow, Thursday, March 21st at 7 p.m. at the board office. Anything else on committees? Okay, and then I'm just going to put under other business is the D7 night was really awesome. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to participate. I did, and that was great. Not one kid had a sad face, so that was really awesome. So, and then the spelling bee was just amazing too. So I had lots of fun with that. So, I even told some jokes, but there's not many people here to tell the jokes, so. That's going to spelling bee next year, hopefully if I'm MC again. And now we're going to go to, does anybody else have anything for other business? Okay, go to kudos. We'll start with Trustee Dyeroff and come on table.
To the Bedford staff from Marcy Joby for always going above and beyond for our Bedford Bears. Thank you for volunteering your time for our family reading night, tutoring, helping with lunches, your fun and interactive lessons, amazing field trips, and just making our kids feel special each and every day. You are all so very much appreciated. Love you all.
All right, to Allison Lefevre from Katie Schukert on March 11th, 2024 for doing an outstanding job with the Scholastic Book Fair. You are always so organized, have everything set up so nicely, and make sure all students have plenty of opportunities to shop and pick out their items. You also rocked it out for the grand event and had so much participation. Thank you for allowing staff to pick out a book and for giving one student in each class an opportunity to get a book for free. The success of the book fair is a testament to how much you love your job and how hard you work day in and day out. Thank you. Excuse me. To Carrie Macchio from Marcy Joby on March 14th, 2024 for the most fantastic family reading night. It was spectacular. As always, you go above and beyond for our Bedford Bears. Thank you for all you do. And then I have a personal kudo, but I can wait till everyone reads theirs.
For the Polk Elementary has an outstanding staff who are all committed to helping students succeed. In March, the staff at Polk are showing students their enthusiasm for reading in a big way. Everyone is focused on providing students with many activities to show students reading is fun. One of the highlights of this year's Reading Month is the Read Like a Champion Student Assembly. Students had an opportunity to show off their writing and reading skills to the whole school. Wow. Polk has talented kids. Afterward, the staff demonstrated their enthusiasm for reading in an original presentation performed to the song The Champion by Carrie Underwood and Ludacris. Thanks to all Polk staff members for their dedication to making a big difference with our students.
To Mrs. Penny LeBlanc from the Polk family, date March 19, 2024. For Mrs. Penny LeBlanc organized a fantastic sports-themed calendar of reading activities this year to encourage Polk Panthers to read. Some of the activities include visits from the Reading Ranger, student poems and performances, family reading night, and the coordination of an outstanding student assembly with staff performance to encourage students to read. In addition, Penny will send home 5 books with each student for spring break. Thank you, Mrs. LeBlanc, for organizing a fun-filled reading month that all our students will never forget. To Mark Kleinhans from Virginia Morgan, dated March 20th, 2024, for jumping in with both feet from day one, for going the extra mile in everything you do, but most of all, for listening to community members and willing to learn from the past.
I'm going to butcher this name, I apologize. Pat Antonsian, Atanossian, and Michael Kleiman from the elementary principals, dated 3/19/24. Thank you for all Thank you for all of the work you did to ensure that the arrangements for our district elementary school spelling bee were perfectly prepared. Pat made sure to think of everything, and the room looked so nicely set up. Michael set up the technology and stayed to make result support.
Okay. Okay, at this time,
I do have a
oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Yes, Trustee Gator.
So when I got,
Just cry, please.
I know it's making me so emotional. I don't know, you saw it already? Okay. When I got to the board table today, I had some cards made from the students in Ms. Shucks and Ms. Schukert's class. I was fortunate enough to come and be a reader to them in honor of March Reading Month. And the cards are beautiful and the pictures are beautiful, and I just wanted to say thank you. And what made me so emotional was like doing this higher order business work as a board member can sometimes be very stressful, but being directly connected to those children, they're very happy to be students, and you can tell the focus is being put in like early childhood literacy and diversity in the reading and the curriculum. And so I felt I belonged there, they felt they belonged there, and everything just felt so peaceful. And so I really needed that on how hard things have been in being a board member over the past 4 years for me. So I just wanted to say thank you to those teachers, most importantly, and thank you to those students for making these like cards that were truly made out of love, and I feel it, so thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry for almost crying. You're a tearful bunch today.
Well, since she brought it up, I'll just say kudos to Ms. Schukert and congratulations on her baby boy.
Yeah, I'm very proud of that. He's so beautiful.
Okay, can I hopefully safely go for a motion to close the meeting at 8:37 p.m.?
So moved.
Ooh, tied. We can fight over it. No, I'm just kidding. Moved by Trustee Gator.
Support.
Supported by Trustee Windless. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Windless?
Yes.
Mrs. Dyrop? Yes. Ms. Gator?
Yes.
Mr. Leaning?
Yes.
Mr. Wall?
Yes, motion carries. Thank you all for coming, and